Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, Deputy City Attorney Jason Zaragoza, and I am presenting on an omnibus city code update. All right, so the recommendation is that the city council introduce and waive further reading of an ordinance titled, "An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Oxnard amending various sections of the Oxnard City Code to regulate election signs, modify subdivision map act signature requirements, amend short-term rental notice requirements, and strengthen rent stabilization and just cause eviction regulations." On March 10th, 1962, the Oxnard City Code City Council adopted ordinance number 872, adopting the Oxnard City Code. Over the years, the code has been amended many times to address clerical errors, updates of legal citations, and the like. Last year, the City Council adopted an omnibus city code update, which made various non-substantive changes to the code that addressed changes in state law, corrected minor errors, provided updates to gender-neutral references, etc. At that time, the council was notified that the city attorney's office would periodically update the code as necessary to comply with state laws, strengthen regulations, and the like. So the proposed ordinance before the council establishes regulations regarding the placement of election signs on public property and in the public right-of-way. Also adds those regulations to the nuisance chapter of the city code, which is chapter 7. It also specifies that an application for a final map or parcel map processed under the Subdivision Map Act must be signed by the county clerk and the city clerk in order to be processed. And it also removes the requirement that the planning division include directions to view a copy of a nuisance response plan when providing short-term rental permit notice to property owners within a 300-foot radius of an STR applicant's property. The proposed ordinance also strengthens the city's rent stabilization and just cause eviction regulations. It eliminates the existing provision stating that an owner may terminate a tenancy on a no-fault basis if the tenant refuses to execute a tenancy with new terms. It also strengthens the regulations by clarifying that a person is an employee for the purposes of the existing regulations only if that person entered occupancy of the unit in the first place as an employee. Also clarifies that a termination notice must identify the person who is the owner or relative intending to move in, if that is the just cause basis for the termination of tenancy, and must also state where that person currently resides. The regulations are also strengthened by harmonizing the city code with Costa-Hawkins and other housing related statutes and case law in stating that an owner does not have the right to establish a tenancy's initial rent if the previous tenancy was terminated by notice pursuant to Civil Code Section 1946.1, which is a no-fault termination. It also clarifies that the city manager may promulgate administrative procedures to address ordinance violations. Each of these updates to the city code regarding rent stabilization and just cause eviction regulations are being proposed. One, because there have been updates to California state law in this field. Two, now that the program has been underway for some time, the staff has recommended these changes based on past practice and experience as well. And with that, be open to any questions.